Well, hello there from Salem Lutheran Church. I am Pastor Aaron Holmgren, and this is your midweek message for November 16th. We have a lot going on, so I wanted to lift up a couple of things. Next Wednesday, the 23rd, we will have our Thanksgiving Eve service here the at the church in the sanctuary, followed by a pie social afterwards. And then we will, the next day, Friday, or sorry, the next event is Friday the 25th. We're doing decorating the church for Advent and the Christmas season. Need a couple of helpers for that. That's a less formal activity and more just a volunteer help out, decorates, get the stuff down from the sacristy, and so that should be a nice time of preparing the place for our Advent season for the new year. And speaking of that, we have our first Sunday of Advent on November 27th, followed by our Advent Festival, where you get to prepare decorations for your own home to bring in that sense of the season as we move into Advent and then Christmastide. Um, Otherwise, this next Sunday is Christ the King Sunday. It's the last Sunday of the church year. So it's our last reading from the Gospel of Luke for a while. We'll now jump it back into the Gospel of Matthew, starting with Advent 1 on the 27th. I will be on vacation from the 21st through the 29th. So if you have any pastoral emergencies, you can reach out to our parish nurse, Debbie, or to Pastor John over at St. Stephen's. They are more than willing to help out. And I'm a little sad that I'll be missing the decorations in the first Sunday of Advent. It's my favorite season of the year. So looking forward to seeing how festive Salem is when I get back from vacation. It'll be a great experience. Faith formation is tonight here at Salem. So if you're catching this video on the 16th, we're doing Love in a Ziploc Bag here with the youth from St. Stephen's in Salem. From 5:30 to 7 is that event. And then so if you have any things you need to bring for the Ziploc bags, please drop those off beforehand. Otherwise, you can come and help fill bags and meet some of the youth and get to know them. So that brings us into the reflection portion of this this week. And as we move into kind of the end of the year, end of the church year, and into the new church year, I always think it's kind of funny that as church members we have two beginnings of the year. We have our church season, which starts Advent first, and then we have the new year, which is January 1st. And January 1st tends to get a lot more of a celebration and it has a lot more of traditions around it. Advent tends to feel like it's kind of the pre-season of Christmas, which it is. I mean, we're preparing the way for Christ. We're watching for the Lord, and so it has that anticipation feeling to it. But it also is a season unto itself, and it is an important season where we reorient our way of looking at things, so that we're watching for the Lord. We're watching for God's presence to come into this world, and we're praying for Christ's intervention in our lives today, not just anticipating the birth of Christ at Christmas. It's a dual anticipation of that celebration for what has already been given, and that prayer and anticipation for what is promised. So Advent has a really cool duality to it as we look towards that celebration and as we look towards that ultimate um, promise and feast that is to come. But before that, we have this Christ the King Sunday, and that comes at the end of the year. And when we get to the end of our calendar year, we tend to make like New Year's resolutions, or we count down and celebrate what has happened in the past and what we're looking forward to in the future. Christ the King is a nice grounding point for all of that that we do, because it reminds us that regardless of um, any human influence on this world, any political power, any market power, any sort of boss or manager or influencer or politician, all of those are um, rulers in their own right within this world. They have influence. They control uh, people in many different aspects of their lives. But Christ the King reminds us that our ultimate kingdom is not of this earth, and that the kingdom of heaven and the true ruler of all things, who has all power, is our triune God, revealed to us in the gift of God's Son, Jesus Christ. And with that in mind, as we reflect on our church year, as we reflect on the year of 2022, and we look forward into what we are going to do and what the world around us is going to do, we remember and give thanks that ultimately God is the one in control, and God is the one who we ultimately and always rely on. And even if the earth passes away, God's kingdom endures. So all this to say is, as we move into this hectic season, this frantic season of festivals and celebrations at not only in kind of the secular world with Thanksgiving and with Christmas music and malls and tinsel and Santas and Christmas trees, but also within the church year as we move into a new year, and we tend to have more festive activities, and we ramp up to Christmas and our Christmas Eve service, and we have this grounding presence of God, and we have this future anticipation of God's promise that can guide us in all of this that we are about to encounter together. So thanks be to God for God's glory alone, and happy New Year, happy end of this year, as we reflect on what we are thankful for and look forward to many exciting adventures uh, in the future.